Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakdash, that watch the apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching us this truth, peace, and blessings to the whole collective Israel, and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father in ancient Hebrew. Bahashem means the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the unbegotten Son. Background lesson, and today you're going to go into these tensions that Yahweh Bahashem Shai is building between the nations, ultimately to usher in World War III, to reach that boiling point, man. As you are seeing the constant conflicts that are going on between the nations, you're seeing Russia constantly making these threats against America and against Ukraine to use thermonuclear missiles. You have North Korea doing ICBM testing, intercontinental ballistic missiles. And these are not just some simple things that you can just do. But you are ultimately seeing, once again, the tension the Lord is building, as you see within this title right here. Now it says, who will blink first? Kind of like how you have those old cowboy movies where they have a standoff, and who's gonna pull the trigger first? This goes to show how high the tensions are, man. And the tensions can only get so high. But everything's gonna happen on the Lord's time. There are still things that need to happen and take place before World War III is fully kicked off. As you're already seeing the infrastructure being laid out for this beast system, to usher in this charagma. So there's still things that need to happen and take place before World War III. But you are seeing Yahweh Bahashem Shai gradually building those tensions, But let's continue on. Now it says, who will blink first? Is nuclear war between Russia and the U.S. possible? And it's not only possible, it's going to happen, and it's a fact. It's written in the scriptures, which we are going to get today. World War III is prophesied in the Bible. Now it says, some believe the standoff between Moscow and Washington could eventually see atomic weapons used. Now it says, by Lydia Missink, a Moscow-based reporter focused on politics, sociology, if I said that correctly, and international relations. Now it says, discussions in strengthening nuclear arms control have been ongoing for decades, but have recently receded into the background, with leading powers on now hurling direct threats at each other, as you've been constantly seeing Russia threatening to use thermonuclear missiles to wipe America off the map with, I believe they said like 2 or 4 missiles, they said one time, and also Russia threatening to use missiles against Ukraine, and how they wouldn't, if America would get in their way, that they wouldn't hold back, And you had America, kind of doing a show of force, especially when you had that North Korea doing those missile testing. One of those missiles landed near Japan. So hey, the tensions are high, man. You're seeing talks of war in the air, as you're seeing right here. You have many articles that are going out saying, is nuclear war a possibility? World War III with a question mark next to it. Even on Twitter, it's nothing new. You'll see, World War III, trending pretty much all the time. So hey, it's only a matter of time till this happens and plays out, man. But let's continue on, and that's why we are warning you through the Spirit and prophet Yahweh Bahashem Shai. That's why the Lord also has set up prophets among you, man, so that you can't say you weren't warned. But now let's continue on. As despite the obvious catastrophic consequences of a nuclear war, in which world leaders have repeatedly noted there would be no winners, Moscow and Washington continue to warn that they are ready to use their arsenals in extreme circumstances. I mean, come on. Read a little bit more into it. As the experts had expressed hope that these statements are nothing more than attempts at blackmail. However, sooner or later the kind of talk could lead to a critical situation to the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the Soviet Union and the United States held atomic pistols to each other's head. I was just kind of mentioning, going back to that little example between, a standoff. Those cowboy movies, who can, pull the trigger first. And which thing I was mentioning, the tensions can only get so high. It's going to reach a boiling point, and it's going to explode, man. Which is going to lead to World War III, as we have been constantly saying. And people are going to call us crazy, mock us, call us all sorts of names, because we're saying these things. But hey, it's written, man, and you are seeing it playing out before our very eyes. See what this says. Dead hand nuclear revenge. What would happen if the West launched an attack on Russia? So pretty much got the main point of the article. I'll leave the link in the description below, Lord willing, if you want to go into that for yourself. But let's jump to these scriptures I got, and Lord will be edifying. Quick lesson through the Spirit. because you are constantly seeing, these tensions that Yahweh Shai has been building, because this is of Yahweh Shai. This is the Lord's doing, man. So we've been seeing those constant conflicts between them, those constant threats being made. Once again, these are not just some simple threats that are even made to use nuclear missiles. You even have North Korea once again using intercontinental ballistic missiles, man, doing testing. What do you think they're testing for, man? Matthew 24, 1-8. These are end time signs, and it goes to show that our Lord Yahweh Shai is preparing to make his return. Now it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be a sign of thy coming, of the end of the world? And it's going to list off those signs that we would see and that will take place before Yahweh shall make his return. Going to show times that we're in once again. Now it says, And Yahweh shall answer and said to them, Take heed that I may deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I'm anointed, and shall deceive many. Which you're seeing heavily right now. A lot of these false prophets are being exposed. You have, I believe, there's one camp called One Bite. I forget the exact name of the camp. You have ICPK, IOIC, Sakari. All these camps are being exposed, man. And it's being revealed who's serving Yahweh Shai and who is serving him not. And you should know by now, man. Go back to Malachi 3 and 18. Someone has to have the 100% truth, and it's not with any of those camps, man. Verse 6, And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Main point. Read one more time from on top. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And we're seeing now these rumors of war, man. You're seeing talks of war in the air. Constant news articles speaking on, is nuclear war possible? World War III? I mean, come on. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7, For a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, which would be seen. Which is what we have been seeing, Slakia. Going to these famines that are brewing, especially with the famine of the world, which you are seeing now. With what they're doing with these celebrities, ultimately how they're mainly targeting the prophets, the word. And pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, you've been seeing heavily earthquakes taking place pretty much everywhere. And major pestilences and plagues from the Lord, man. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. And guess what? We're just in the beginning of this, man. Just as when people thought things couldn't get worse, it's matter of fact only going to get worse, man. And call Halamla Yahweh B'Shem Shai. These things are happening, man. It's like it's speaking too fast, getting excited. But exciting times, man. Revelations 11 and 14. Because we have been prophesying through the Spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Shai for years now, man. And you're seeing these things playing out before our very eyes, man. So you repent and seek the Lord, because very soon the Lord's going to shut those doors of mercy, man. Revelations 11 and 14. Now it says, The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And what is the third woe speaking of? The Third World War. Because when you go into the word woe right here, basically goes into destruction, desolation. Now it says misery, sorrow, distress, unhappiness, desolation, gloom, disaster. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. Disaster, desolation, destruction is coming, man. World War III, aka Armageddon. As you guys Isaiah 9 and 5 to go in and show how this war is going to be completely different. How it would be by the way of thermonuclear missiles, thermonuclear fire, man. Because people are calling us, call us crazy. That's never going to happen in our lifetime. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just fear-mongering. All these different things, man. But it's in the scriptures. And y'all are going to continue to shrug these things off and disregard the warnings that the Lord is giving you through his men. You're going to deeply regret it. When you see the elect being beamed up by the way of these chariots, and the only thing coming back for you is those thermonuclear missiles, man, that'd be a scary and terrifying feeling, man. But Isaiah 9 and 5 says, For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Going to the clashing of shields, swords, bow and arrows. For example, I always like to use the movie 300 as an example. If you watch that movie. Or just, those old war movies, man. This is running on the battlefield, once again, clashing of armies, man. But this is for every battle of the warriors been confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this is going to show how it's going to be completely different. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, man. What do you think that's speaking of right there, man? It is clear as day. These nuclear missiles, man. Now let's dive a little more into Isaiah 34 and 1 through 6, because the destruction, that's the destruction that's coming upon this place, man. The Lord's finna bring. Now it says Isaiah 34 and 1 through 6. Come near, ye nations, do hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all the things that come forth of it. So, hey, listen, man. Excuse me. Verse 2 now says, for the indignation of Yahweh Shemel shines upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he had delivered them to the slaughter. So Yahweh Shemel Shai is preparing to wreak havoc upon this place, man. To rain thermonuclear fire upon this place, man. You know, these heathen nations, Esau, Edom, and especially 2/3 of our wicked people, man. Because it says, you know, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. Going back to 1 Peter, how your judgment must start at the house of the Most High. You know, verse 3. Their slain shall also be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And the heavens being rolled together as a scroll is going to those mushroom clouds from those explosions, man. What it's speaking of right there. And all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, shall come upon Idumea, in other words, for Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Verse 6, the sword of Yahweh Shemel Shai is filled with blood, is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For Yahweh Shemel Shai has a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And what would they do with the fat? You know, when they were doing those sacrifices, man, they'll throw it into that fire, man. And guess what? It's going to be thermonuclear fire, man. But you are seeing destruction is coming, man. And it's by the way of these thermonuclear missiles. I don't know how many times I got to say it, man. Should you want Revelation 6:14 to add on to that point? Now it says, in the heaven depart as a scroll when it is rolled together. Once again, going into that point of the mushroom clouds. Where you can, you know, search up videos on YouTube of militaries doing testing on missiles, and it will form like a mushroom. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island removed out of their places. So going to show just, you know, all the different explosions that are going to be going off, as well as mentioned in, I believe, Isaiah 2:19, to go into how they're going to try to, you know, flee underground in order to hide and to escape their judgment, you know. Now let's get Isaiah 13:9-11. Now it says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So we're seeing the Lord is preparing to destroy this place, man, as well as many of the wicked people that is in it. Those that want to continue to, you know, walk on in wickedness, disregarding and shrugging off these warnings, taking it as a joke and not serious, you're going to deeply regret it, as the scripture going to Matthew 24:37. You know, how these people are going to continue to disregard these warnings until things actually happen, as in the days of Noah. They didn't take Noah serious until it actually happened, man. Just as they are doing the prophets now to this day. That's why it keeps going to, you know, nothing new under the sun, man. Same thing happening. Verse 10. That says, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give the light, the sun shall be darkened, and is going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Verse 11, and I'll punish the world for the evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I'll cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I'll lay low the highness of the terrible. Let's get the full chapter. Let's get the 13th verse. Therefore I'll shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, as you read in Revelation 6:14, I believe. Therefore I'll shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and the day of his fierce anger. Showing how bad it's going to be, man. The Lord's not playing. Let's see what else we can get from Isaiah 13, because this place also, Scripture is also going to how this place will never be inhabited again. It's to be completely wiped off the map, man. Going to that lake of fire. Let's see if we can get, we can start off with 19 and close off with like 22 and go on to the next scripture. As in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And how does the Lord overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? By the way of fire and brimstone, but this time it will be by the way of thermonuclear fire, man. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. So its place is never be inhabited again. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and the the owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So we're going to show how great this judgment is going to be. Let's get Jeremiah 50 and 9, because you're going to have these nations coming against Babylon the Great, aka America. Now it says, for lo, I'll raise, because you're going to have these nations, go against the whore, America, once again. Now it says, for lo, I'll raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrows shall be as of mighty expert men. None shall return in vain. Now this is a jump down, I believe the verse 14. Now it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh by Shemau Shai to take vengeance upon her, as she had done, do unto her. Now, let's see. I'm pretty sure there's a little bit more I can get from this. It also goes into the armory that's going to be used, going to these missiles, man, which I'm trying to find. Verse 23. Let's see, verse 22. Now say, sound battle is in the land and of great destruction. Verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? America's going to be brought low. Because right now they're looked upon as, one of the so-called strongest nations. No one's able to put a hand on her. That's why I want you to Isaiah 47. Come sit in the dust, O daughter of Babylon. That shall be no more tender, nor delicate. Because no one has really taken out America or really put their hand on her. But now she's going to fully be taken out and brought to the ground, man. Now it says, verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. Now watch this, verse 25. The Yahweh by Shemau Shai hath opened his armory, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. What do you think that's speaking of, man? Connect the dots. We've read all those scriptures going to this fiery destruction that's coming to this place, man. As well as Isaiah 9 and 5 going to, how the world would be completely different, Let's go back to that. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments of blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. I don't want to butcher it. I don't want to say anything wrong. So back to it, but there we go. So with burning and fuel of fire. Now let's read it one more time. Yahweh Bashem Shai had opened his armory and had brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord God of hosts, or power of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Now I guess we get the 29th verse, and pretty sure it's more than 40. I think 47 also. No. Let's see. Yeah, let's go back to where we're gonna read, and we'll read a little bit on more with it. A lot of information right here. Now it says, call together, in the 29th verse. Call together the archers against Babylon, all you that bend the bow. Camp against it round about. Then none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she had done. Do unto her, for she had been proud against Yahweh Bashem Shai, against the Holy One of Israel. There you go. So to show you, it's also speaking of your America, man. Because you see how prideful and proud these devils are, man. America. Now let's continue on. Read a little bit more. Let's see. See, Jeremiah 50 also touches on this right here. Yeah, let's jump back to 39. As therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein. Did we not just read that in book of Isaiah? In the 13th chapter? Now it says, it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Verse 40, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, So shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. So pretty much got what we need from Jeremiah 50. Close out with 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. Down to that point. Now it says, for strong is his hit, like real time. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So what regular bow and arrow can be shot from one place in the earth to a complete other? So showing he's not speaking of no regular bow and arrow, is going to use thermonuclear missiles. When we look into the information of ICBMs and how far they can be shot, it's crazy, man. Showing you what it's speaking of. So pretty much the main point, you got a lot of scriptures, but as you are seeing, the build-up towards World War III. And how Hashem Shai constantly and gradually building those tensions, and which the tensions can only reach so high, which can lead once again to World War III, which is what Yahweh Hashem Shai is ushering in. But there are still things that need to happen and take place before World War III is fully in place. But as you saw, we proved it by the way of the scriptures, of the destruction that is coming to this place, and how it's not going to be anything else but by the way of thermonuclear missiles. Because a lot of people just want to completely disregard these things, man. And we're proving it by the way of the Holy Bible, man. By the way of the scriptures, man. As keep going to Isaiah, I believe, the 3rd chapter. If they speak not according to his word, the light of the Father is not in them. So there you go. We proved it by the way of the word, man. The Bible, that World War III is in the scriptures that we ran in multiple scriptures, man. But pretty much the main point. Lord, you're edified. I do want to give all praises on glory to Yahweh Shemashah, Bashem Kakadash, the apostles, and those great millstone for teaching us his truth. Peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel, and shalom. See you next one.